So Brian, tell us about this Triumph.
Well, this Triumph is a bike I've had for probably 7 years maybe. 2007, oh no, 2005, probably have to edit that bit out. I think I've done everything mechanically except for the swing arm and the front forks, so there's been quite an adventure there. Going very well now. 1954, first of the swing arms. Engine is a 1951 small main bearing engine with a 1959 gearbox, and it's in sort of everyday riding condition, cosmetically a bit a normal, I suppose. Quite good fun.
Yep. Okay. At 500?
It's a 500 alloy barrels.
Yeah. That was a racing engine?
Not quite. It was the sporting engine. In the day you could buy the Thunderbird. I think that was £217, and this one was about £230 to buy. So it was more expensive than the 650 Thunderbird, and it had the same rated horsepower. So higher compression, higher lift cams, I think.
Right. Okay. Tell us a bit about the brakes, Brian.
The brakes work. It's actually, being a Tiger 100, it had 8-inch front brakes with a bit of a scoop for air cooling. Still single leading shoe front brake, and stops actually not too badly for what it is. Rear brakes are acceptable as well.
Yeah. And electrics?
Yeah, everything's standard, although it does have a dynamo regulator, electronic regulator, which is probably a little bit more reliable. Oh, I'll tell you one thing which I have done, is if you look over here, normally this is the feed side,
yep,
and this is the scavenge side, which normally goes straight in here, but I've diverted it into the toolbox where there's a spin-on oil filter, and it comes back here.
Okay.
So on the scavenge side I've got an oil filter. Most applications you see people, they have the oil filter somewhere sitting outside, but you can actually put it in the toolbox in these, which I haven't seen that done before, but it works quite well.
So originally, what would the oil changes have been? Every sort of 1,200 miles or something like that, would it?
Well, that or a bit more. There's a fair capacity of oil in there.
Yeah.
I don't know, I can't remember what's in the book. I think probably something like 2,000 miles.
Yeah, right.
And
Okay.
there's a little indicator for oil pressure that comes out here, and since I've done the engine, it maintains at least 40 psi at tick over when it's hot.
Yeah, right.
So really, really good. That's an indicator for oil pressure there.
Okay.
Pops out.
So now you've got the filter in, you've extended the change intervals?
Oh, probably a bit, yes, because the oil is as clean as anything after several hundred miles anyway, so I think it's a bit better. And of course it takes all the muck out of the oil. It means that you don't have to use low detergent oil for things going into sludge and trapping in the oil traps.
Yep.
Because the filter traps it for you, so you can use more modern oils, is my opinion.
Yeah. So I don't know if the sound would have picked it up because I haven't got a mic for you, but tell us about the swing arm again.
Well, it's the first year of the swing arm, and the only thing I said about the swing arm is that it's something I haven't done. So the bearing, the bushes in there, just a little bit of movement, not enough to worry about. And the front forks in a similar sort of state, serviceable, but it's the next thing to be done. Otherwise, I've done everything in this bike mechanically.
Yeah, okay. What's the fuel tank capacity, Ron?
Oh gosh, it's reasonably large. I'd say it must be 18 litres or so.
Put petrol in and it goes, yeah, okay. Yeah,
it's quite a good club bike. It's generally quite reliable,
yeah,
potters along quite nicely, and it reminds me of being 18 when I had one of those before.
And that's what it's all about. Yeah.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
And
comfortable? Comfortable?
Yes, I think it is quite comfortable. It doesn't spread your legs too much, and this is the original seat. That's the shape that they were in those days.
Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Up until I don't know about 1959-60, I think they changed to more conventional size shape.
Yeah. Oh, very good. Very good.
Yep.
I can't think of any other questions to ask, Brian, but I'm going to hassle this man about his Vincent.
Yeah, no, that's a different cup of tea altogether.
Yeah.
Black Shadow.
Yep.
1950, did you say?
1951, I think it is.
1951.
Or 50, one of the two.
Okay, so tell us all about it, Greg. How long you had it?
I've had it since 2018.
Right.
And it's been fully restored.
Fully restored.
From the front to the back.
Yeah. Okay, who did the restoration?
A guy by the name of Greg Brillis.
Right.
Up in the Gold Coast.
Right, okay.
So he's apparently the guru.
Well,
does a really nice job. So
well, let's start at the front here.
yeah,
You were telling me before that's the original English registration from
that's the original English registration, yes, which is still. If you go back to England, they will let you register it with that.
With that, yeah. So because lifetime registration over there, yeah. Okay, so tell us about the brakes.
Well, they're shadow brakes, so they've got ribs on them, make them
Cooling ribs.
cool a bit more.
Yep. And that's the original front tyre, or not the original front tyre, but the same tyre that they came with. That's a Avon Speedmaster.
Yeah, 300 by 20.
Yeah. Tell us about this.
Okay, so it's the brake lever operates on a pendulum
Pivot there.
pivot arm.
Yeah.
So when you
Yeah.
so that works pretty well.
So that gives you that operates each brake shot each side of the drum.
Yeah, pulls them up equally.
Yeah. Distribute. Yeah. Okay. The other thing is this is for quick wheel removal, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can.
So that if you have a
You
flat.
haven't got any nuts and bolts to undo there. The spanners, you don't need a spanner to undo the axle.
Yeah. So low maintenance if you get
the twin stands at the front. You pull this little bolt out here, and they pivot forward with it, and you can roll it back onto the two stands and lift the front wheel.
And lift the front wheel, and you can change the front wheel. Yeah, okay. Tell us about the front suspension. You've modified that slightly, I believe.
Yeah, so it hasn't got the centric old original piece on there.
Right.
So it runs straight off there, and it actually runs parallel.
Yep. Because the original one didn't.
The original ones didn't, that's right. And the original ones you could also change them to run a sidecar.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
And the springs in here?
The spring box.
Spring box in there?
Yeah. Spring box, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Some of the guys racing these days have done away with that, put a spring over shocky.
Oh, okay.
Instead of just a shocky up there.
Yeah. And the original steering damper would have been a friction damper.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the knob's still there.
Let me just go around there, and so that would have been a friction damper.
Yeah.
But you've put on a genuine
Kawasaki one.
Somebody's put on a genuine Kawasaki one. Okay, we won't mention that. We'll edit that out of the video.
Yeah, because
okay. So tell us about the heart of the matter. This engine.
This engine.
Designed by
Phil Irving.
Phil Irving, Australian engineer.
Yes.
Yep.
Actually born in New Zealand, but don't tell anybody that.
Oh, goodness. No, we won't tell anyone that. And when did he put this together? He put two Comet motors over each other, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
The theory?
Yeah. So the blueprint of the Comet was lying on the desk, and somebody had another one blueprint. They sort of threw it down, and they reckon, now that's a good idea. Why don't we make a twin?
Right.
And that's where that came from, apparently.
Yeah. So, in terms of routine maintenance and things like that, what's your sort of program there, Greg? Oil changes and things, obviously, but
yeah, you do your oil change and filters.
Yep.
So
how often do you have to do that?
Every 1,000 miles, I sort of try and do it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay. What sort of oil can you run in it nowadays?
Well, you can run your modern sort of oils. 1540s is good enough.
Multi-grades.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Back in the day, was it a monograde?
No, it would have been a 40 grade.
Yeah, a monograde.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Depends where you were, of course.
Yeah. Okay. And what was the petrol back in the day, post-war, would have been pretty heavy going, wouldn't it?
So, for sure, yeah.
So the compression ratio is not that high, is it?
No. They all had a high compression motors, like around that 7.5, 8, 9 to 1.
Yeah, right.
But when they went to Europe, where they had really bad fuel, they put a compression plate under the cylinders.
At the base of the cylinder. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So they did have an air filter. That was one of their sort of options.
So
depends where you were.
Talk to us about the rear suspension.
Righto, so that's it's got 2 springs on either side of the shock absorber.
Right. Yep. So the springs are in there and the shock absorber's in there. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. Okay. And how much travel does that give? About 1.5 inches?
About 2 inches, yeah.
2 inches? Yeah. Okay.
So that suspension was designed well before Yamaha had their...
ever invented monoshock. Again, easy rear wheel removal.
Yep.
Because
so it's got a Tommy bar rear axle.
Yep. And you can also hinge the mudguard so that you can get the wheel out.
Yeah.
Modern bike designers, please take note. Yes, that's right. Hang on, we better talk about this Speedo. Look at that.
That's the original Speedo.
Yeah, okay. And how fast have you actually been on it, Greg?
Don't remember.
Don't remember. Very good.
Oh, was at the airport, wasn't it?
Oil in frame there.
Oil in frame. So that's the oil, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Centre one's the oil and the other's fuel.
And any colour you want, so long as it's black.
You could order a colour if you had a lot of money.
Yeah.
So
you needed a lot of money anyway.
They had a white shadow which still had a black tank and polished cases. There was a red Rapide, Chinese red Rapide, and they reckon there was an odd blue one.
Okay, well I can't think of too much else to ask you, Greg. There's probably a million things that people would want to know, but it's a lovely bike and it's in lovely condition. It's a real credit, you know. It's bloody. And one day I'm going to ask you for a ride.